What up? This is Rap HITZ. So this Wack 100 paperwork is gonna change everything, and it will reveal that Wack 100 might not be what you think he is.
Back in 2005, Wack and his brother got caught in Texas with illegal guns, both convicted felons at the time. That case dropped quietly, and Wack moved around from jail to jail, federal facility to federal facility, then released. No clear reason, no trial, no charges. That's when people started whispering. Maybe he flipped way back then. Maybe that's when he got in bed with the feds. Cause from that point on, Wack moved different. Popped up in LA not long after, suddenly rubbing shoulders with Death Row and Suge Knight, and climbing fast without ever getting touched. Too fast, too smooth. And if you really put the pieces together, it paints a clear picture. Wack's never been just a manager. He's a fixer, a cleanup man, a pipeline between the streets and the system. He protects the ones he rocks with. The game, 6ix9ine, Blueface, not just through business, but legally. When they get in a mess, Wack steps in, control the narrative, and keeps them out of real heat.
So we already saw that he carries a police badge around. Now, there's this paperwork that's available that more people need to look into, and it hasn't been really fully analyzed from what I understand, because there's a situation that Wack 100 got jammed up in a while back. Him and his bro got pulled over, and they found some thumpers in the vehicle, and I guess they was both convicted felons at the time, from what it sounds like. And so this charge would have carried, some time with it, or at least had some type of completion to it. But from what I understand, this paperwork has no completion. It's just basically it was dropped and dismissed and thrown away. And after that, he went on to deal with Suge Knight and get in the industry and be in the inner circle of a lot of stuff going on. So with this charge, though, I think this is where there's smoke, there might be fire, because when you look into it, it's gonna be strange when you look into it and it shows that this charge was just dropped out of nowhere. And what type of, situation is that where it could just get dropped now? It's possible that he pinned it on his bro, but we need to really look into what happened with his bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if there was two people in the car, I could see them taking them both in. That makes sense. They take them both in. They don't know whose thumpers they was. Now we got to determine who was driving. You know what I'm saying? Who was driving? Did his bro take the charge? Maybe that's what happened, right? So if that's the case, maybe it would be all that suspicious, right? You know what I'm saying? So it comes down to analyzing this paperwork. But this is where, the internet is looking into it and trying to figure out what's really going on with Wack 100. You know what I'm saying? What's really going on, because how you get off that charge, and, it sounds like he was in jail for it and then fighting it, I guess. But the way it was concluded is what's causing the suspicion. I guess people are saying it just looks suspicious. I don't know. I mean, I personally would need to actually see the paperwork, and you would need someone like 1090 Jake, what's his name, 1080, whatever his name is, that Jake dude that was looking into Larry Hoover. He's like real good at looking into paperwork. So you would almost need someone like him to really decipher, or maybe academics, but academics is compromised because he's cool with Wack. So, and then 1090 Jake's cool with Wack too. So that wouldn't really work. You would need somebody probably on the outside of both of them to really look into this paperwork and determine what really happened. You would need to pull up the dude that was with him and see if his charges was dropped as well. Like the thing is, that can happen. Your charges can get dropped. If they can't pin the gun on, the thumper on you, I could see a charge getting dropped. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if this is a lot of smoke, but like I said, where there's smoke, there could be fire. It's something to look into. I don't know. Personally, I don't see it as suspicious as some people might see it, because the thing is, I would need to know, how was this case dismissed? Because they're saying there was no further legal action, no trial, no. I don't even think they said there was a dismissal properly. I mean, this is something where people are gonna have to figure out what happened here, And now they're saying Wack 100 is compromised because, you know, he's carrying that police badge around. And that's weird. That's just weird. I mean, so you got a friend. The whole story was weird. I broke it down in another video. He had a friend that was a police officer, but it wasn't really his friend. It was his daughter's friend. You know, well, his daughter was hanging with another girl, and that girl's dad was a police officer. So this police officer ended up giving Wack 100 a badge to protect himself. That's just a weird story. I mean, and then you carry it around now. He's going around carrying a police badge around. And I mean, who does that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, even as a kid, that wouldn't be really cool, like to carry around a police badge can you imagine yourself like a 15-year-old or something walking around with a police badge hanging around your friends? Like that was never popular or cool. You know, like, you know, it looks like that kid that was with Trump trying to be a police officer, you know, and you know what I'm saying, I want to be a police officer when I grow up type looking ass, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. That's weird to have a police officer badge in your wallet. I'm still not convinced this was, you know, what he's saying it is. It seems strange. Anyone would think that. So in this clip I played, I mean, they go on to talk about Wack's strange relationships with some of these artists. It's like they're wondering if he's not just a manager of these artists, but more of a, you know, I don't know, something else, because it sounds more like a almost lawyer at times. Because I know when that he's saying basically like Blueface kept getting into trouble, Wack would be the one to show up to the court dates and, you know, talk for Blueface and, you know, get him out of trouble a lot, and he'd have a relationship with the prosecutors, and, you know, just really, I guess they're saying he is all up in the court documents, or I don't know if he's in the documents, but he was basically like almost like a lawyer to Blueface. It seems like, I know every time Blueface went to jail, they said Wack would go pick him up. You know, he had no problem going into them police stations, getting them out, you know, stuff like that. And it just seems suspicious, I guess, some of the internet is saying. And with Game, he was putting stuff in his name, like his house, because Game was getting sued, and Wack would go into the court documents, and, you know, he'd be like involved in the court proceedings, because they would say, well, this house belongs to Wack 100, playing these games like that. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, I mean, you would be kind of nervous doing something like that, messing with the courts and putting property in your name, saying, no, this is mine, and, you know, like being involved in the case at all, like in any way. You would almost want to just stay away from all that stuff, you would think, especially being from the streets, you know. You wouldn't want to be involved in anything like that, going and putting stuff in your name to avoid lawsuits and to help your artists avoid stuff. You know, it's weird stuff going on. And then in that clip I played, they also talked about 6ix9ine. So it was 6ix9ine basically, you know, 6ix9ine was known for telling on people, and then Wack 100's fully associating himself with 6ix9ine as far as being involved in his career in whatever way he's saying, like management or helping him get deals, stuff like that. So, you know, just to be affiliated, having no problems being affiliated with someone who told, but then on the other hand, it's like a hypocrite, because he keeps on going around trying to expose people for telling, and that's his main thing, is he gets, you know, all up in people's business about who's telling on who, but has no problems hanging with 6ix9ine, or at least being business partners with him, you know. And then it's like, where's your principles then, as far as where's all that energy you have about this type of topic, about telling on people, then at the same time you gonna be you know, on 6ix9ine's team when it comes to doing business and associating yourself with them in any type of way. So it's all weird stuff, you know, kind of to think about. And then even with that Keefe D case, he was all up in the court video screen trying to get Keefe D out. He almost got kind of caught up in saying some weird stuff about what his plans was for Keefe D. You know, he was saying stuff like, is Keefe D, is this a business deal with Keefe D? Is, you know, does he have plans for Keefe D to, you know, once he gets out, and if he gets out on bail? And he was just up in court just talking all this stuff to the point where the judge was getting suspicious of Wack, you know. And then, like, I don't know what street person's really gonna be all up in the court system like that, getting on screen on such a high profile case, trying to bail out Keefe D, and putting his own name on the line, being on the court screens, saying all that stuff. Like, who would even want any parts of that, you know? And then it sounded kind of sketchy because he was already telling Vlad he kind of had plans for Keefe D. It sounded like he had plans for Keefe D. So why is he in court saying he had no plans, no business plans with him? I don't know. It was just kind of suspicious, all that. So I don't know. This was something to think about when you're looking at the Wack 100, you know, because this character was something else. I mean, he was involved with Suge Knight, but then, you know, it's just with all this other stuff he got going on, it's weird, you know. I mean, take it for what it is, though. I just think that, I don't know if too many people know about that paperwork when he originally got on the scene with them thumpers. You know, what happened with that case? Is there anything suspicious in that case? Does anyone, you know, I think people probably got to look more into that and see what's to it, you know, see if there's anything there. Because this dude that did this clip really thinks that original case with him getting them charges dropped is weird, you know, and he pointed out why. So I just wanted to let y'all know about all that. Give me 100 likes on this video if you can. Also subscribe. Check the description box to follow Rap Hits on social media and all that. I'm out.